All right.
Let's go.
What's going on? All right.
Jared, I don't know if we'll be
This
living
is
together
disrespectful.
anymore.
He's being honest. He's
Nah.
just telling you what he sees.
No, he's not.
What's going on here?
Go to the NFC conference and start up with the NFC North. This was a great division last year. Finally, the Packers went down. What?
I have a feeling that nobody's gonna have the same.
Yeah, this could be all.
This is gonna
We'll
be
see,
ridiculous.
You never know.
This is gonna be.
We don't try to debate. We don't plan this.
We do not plan this, but we all
don't
just
plan
did.
it at all.
I guarantee this is a huge debate right now.
Let's see.
Last year, Vikings won it. This year, and I'm gonna do a little victory lap. I did say the Vikings last year, just to let you know.
Nice.
This year will be different. It will be the Detroit Lions out of Michigan. They will
Wow.
do it. And last will be the Green Bay Packers.
Wow. Okay, so I do not have the same winner, and I do not have the same loser.
Oh,
Interesting.
I do want to let everybody know, if nobody's checked the betting odds like Caleb has printed out in front of him. Caleb, let everybody know who the betting favorite is for the NFC
Okay.
North.
Yeah. NFC North, number one favorite across all four of the ones on my list are number one is Lions, and then this is actually a difference in the fourth. DraftKings has the Packers as fourth. The other three, which are FanDuel, Bet, MGM, and PointsBet, have the Bears as number four. So three for
Okay.
the Bears in fourth, one for the Packers.
So
in fourth.
everybody has the Lions at first,
Mhm.
and I love the Lions, but they are not going to win the division this year. It's going to be the Minnesota Vikings at first, and last place is the Chicago Bears.
Okay. What with the Okay. Why the Vikings number one?
Well, so you gotta say yours.
Yeah, once you say yours, I'll let you know why.
Like the mustache is cool, and
Kirk Cousins' mustache.
but yeah, the trucker mustache.
Yeah.
And it's not lined up. I mean, I'm not one to talk.
His
but
wife probably did it.
I think his wife disapproved of it, so I think he might have just done it in the mirror.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, hey, honey, look at this, and like, what do you?
You can't be doing that.
And went to work. I mean, hey. All right, number one, I have the Lions. Number four, I have the Packers. So same as Jared.
Wow.
Good man.
wow.
All right, Jonathan, please.
I actually have the same as John.
No
Yes.
way.
Is number one.
Yes.
Bears is number four.
What?
We have a draw.
Read on something.
Ooh, rare.
So wait, say that again.
Vikings is number one, and the Bears is number four. Okay, folks. Justin Jefferson is the best guy in this division.
Yes.
If not, probably one of the best, probably the best receiver in the league right now. Okay, you guys think they're gonna, not get first in this division? I mean, they dominated last year. They're gonna dominate again this year, and they have Addison. Even if Justin Jefferson's double teamed, Addison is legit. Okay, this team's not gonna have trouble scoring on offense. Kevin O'Connell's a great offensive coordinator. He knows how to score points. I will say it may take some getting used to without Dalvin Cook, but I think they have Madison, they're a couple other backs. Hawkinson, yep. And so I think they'll be able to adjust to that. So yeah, guys, Vikings, this team's gonna win this division. They don't have trouble scoring points. I know the Lions don't, but the Lions, I just don't think they can get it together and win this division. They'll improve. They'll probably get second, but the Vikings are winning this. They're just too dominant. They have the best player, arguably, in the NFL with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to echo what Jonathan said. I mean, they're not going to have problems scoring points. A lot of people are like, oh, they lost Dalvin Cook, they lost Adam Thielen. But like Jonathan said, Addison's a better player than either one of them. So adding him to the offense, Madison is still good in the backfield. He's not going to be as good as Cook, but he's going to be good enough, and this team's going to throw a lot anyway. Not to mention they fired their defensive coordinator from last year, so they're going to get better on the defensive side.
That doesn't
like
mean
Jonathan-
anything.
Okay, but either way, how do you expect the Lions to win the division if I know, I'll give you your time in a second, but how do you expect the Lions to win the division? Yeah, they had a great year last year, but
Mhm.
Jamison Williams is suspended for the first month of the season. He's not going to
Yep.
be there. Okay. You got 2 new guys in the backfield. You have the leading rushing touchdown from last year, the guy on the Lions. He's not there anymore. Jamal Williams gone. DeAndre Swift
Gone.
gone. Now, I
Mhm.
love Gibbs and Montgomery, but again, you're adding new pieces to the offense. Really, the only receiver you have is Amon-Ra St. Brown. You
Mm.
have Marvin Jones, but he's getting older. I just don't understand how you think they're going to score enough points. Not to mention that their defense still isn't great. I know Hutchinson's there and stuff, but how is this team going to come together and beat the Minnesota Vikings?
Not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you why. As far as a complete team, the Lions are the more complete team. Vikings may have stars. They may have a slightly better quarterback. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, a superstar. They don't have the great stars, but Detroit has the chemistry. They have the coach. They have the defense. They have, honestly, the better offense statistically. They had the better offense.
Jared, come on.
So they did. I'm not even
They
gonna
had an
cap
easier
you.
schedule.
Come
They
on,
had
an
an
easier
easier
schedule.
schedule.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Jared, how? How do they have a better offense? That's
They
impossible.
scored
Yeah.
more points. They passed for more yards. They ran for more yards.
It's
They-
because they get the ball so
So-
much because their defense sucks and gives the points.
well, the
right up,
Vikings
and their
sucked
offense
That's
even
gets the ball
worse.
back.
The Vikings sucked even worse. So they should have be equal. I mean,
Who made the playoffs last year?
they did make the playoffs, fine, but
Who beat the Bills?
a 6-win change from 2 years ago to this year. 6+ wins for freaking what's his name, Patrick, and so I think the coach,
Who's Patrick?
freaking whatever his
Wait,
name
what?
is, Dan
You
Campbell.
lost me.
I always mix up Dan Campbell and Dan Patrick from the Dan Patrick Show. I always mix those
I
up.
was like, I'm on your side, but I was like, wait a minute. Like,
He looks like, yeah, Patrick.
Patrick Star up here.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, dude, I was not a fan of him mid-season. I thought he should have been gone. And man, did he flip that ship around? They had one of the best offenses the last couple games. They beat Green Bay in Lambeau. I mean, there was just a lot of things that went right for them. And I think he finally got that culture change that a team like the Detroit Lions needed. A team that's not great in the playoffs, historically doesn't make the playoffs that often. The hardest part is that culture change. And I feel like they finally have that, and they finally have that stability at the head coaching position to where they're not worried if he's going to be gone in the next game or this season, maybe his last, and he's on the hot seat. It's like, okay, after last season, we know that this coach is the guy for the Lions. You look at the running back position. Sure, you lose Jamal Williams, leader in rushing touchdowns. You replace him with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Easily done. Sayonara. Now you go to the receiver position. Jamison Williams is gone. He was never there anyway. He barely played. He only had 1 touchdown last year. So bye. See you later.
Yeah, Hawkinson's gone.
Sam Laporta, they just drafted tight end out of Iowa. You know those Iowa tight ends. George Kittle, he's always going to be great. So TJ Hawkinson, wasn't he Iowa? So Iowa guys they just produce at the tight end position. So that's fine. And then defensively, I'll be honest, I'm taking the Lions over the Vikings defensively. It's just fact.
Okay,
And
I'll agree with you slightly on that point, but like I said before, you just got too many new pieces. Gibbs is new, Montgomery is new, Laporta is new, Jamison Williams might as well just be called new. Marvin Jones is back on the Lions, but he's also new to the offense. You got too many things going on here.
That's a fair point. I will give you that one. But at the running back position, I'm not so worried. I mean, we've seen people like James Robinson, undrafted, come into the Jags and just take the ball and run to the house, right, Jonathan? Just take the ball, don't fumble it, and run in the end zone. Is that hard?
That's all you got to do. It's not hard.
So it's not that hard for the running backs. The receivers, yes, it'll take time to develop that chemistry with Goff. But man, do they throw the ball a ton. I think they will get that chemistry pretty fast. But as an overall team, don't you guys just feel? I mean, Caleb and I feel it. The Detroit Lions are on the up and up. That last win basically should have been a playoff win. In Lambeau, to defeat the Packers and prevent them from going to the playoffs, that felt like a playoff game.
I know, but I hate to break it to you, but who was the quote unquote like soul of that team down the stretch last year?
Jamal Williams.
Okay, is he on the team anymore? I mean,
No,
how
but
can you
he's
get- I
he's
know, but how-
replaceable.
Well, fantasy wise,
What?
it was definitely the coach was the
Replaceable.
biggest.
He led
Jamal
the
Williams.
NFL in rushing touchdowns.
Yeah,
and he
Yeah,
was
he's a
the
lot of
freaking
experience.
soul of this team.
You can get any fullback to running from the 1 yard line. We all know he wasn't that special. Yes, the culture was
I'm
the
not gonna-
culture weighs way more, and his attitude in practice than the touchdowns. I will give you that.
Really, you can get somebody to replicate his touchdown celebration.
He will be.
I don't know if
best.
I want to see that again. Caleb?
But I think Campbell's the heart of the team. I mean, I think fantasy wise, yeah, it's hard to look at his numbers for Williams and then like, oh, they lost him. But I kind of want to go with it's a bit more of a risk, but I feel it, Jared. I think we're right where, if those, I don't want to call them replacements, if the new blood, it can be not just serviceable, but excel at the back of a foundation that's already pretty strong. We know you can't just plug and play, and I'm not going to dog on the running backs comparisons, but that means they have a good offensive line, probably. So it's like that sets up a lot of other stuff. We said all last year they're putting up such crazy amount of points against good competitors, and if their defense was a little bit better, they could be much more contending down the line.
Mhm.
And I just think with the new factors that are unknowns a little bit, if they work out even a portion of what was already great standard behind a foundation that's already pretty good, and then they just improve the defense a little bit, I feel. And again, I don't have the biggest of trust with Goff, and it scares. Okay, scares a strong word, but Kirk Cousins making the news for a mustache, like the more he was in the news last year, the riskier his play was, and the better he did. And it's, as a fair, that's actually the mustache. I'd give you a little bit of weight to. Like when he was on the airplane, with the chain on, he was like, doing great numbers. I was actually seeing Kirk Cousins be who I think he could be. I think he's a great guy and a great player, but it was a shame in the playoffs that they did make. He kind of regressed to that dink and dunk, like that out route. And it was like you needed 10 yards you needed a first down, and you went for the safe option. So in that critical moment, he kind of regressed to what he was known for a long time to. Now he can break that. He can do more. And you can argue that they've added things, and Justin Jefferson is great, but we've seen across the NFL, like with the Raiders, that having a one all-star receiver can make a team contend. Same with the Dolphins, but that down the stretch does matter more with the quarterback. That's what differentiated. Like the Devontae puts up great numbers on the Raiders. Hill does great numbers for the Dolphins, but those teams are not quite contending yet off of the quarterback play. What I will add is I'm not the biggest fan of Goff, but Goff has clutched and made it to a Super Bowl. Now, he didn't play great in that game, but it was against the Patriots, peak Patriots. It makes me think that if Amon-Ra St. Brown is legit, which I think he is, maybe he's just not known the way Jefferson is yet. You have a quarterback who's made it to the Super Bowl at least. So that with all these things together, it's a bit of a lot of risk to pack together, but the ceiling is more fun, I think.
And to mention last year, let's think about this right now. The Vikings got extremely lucky throughout last season. Extremely. And remember, I just had to look it up, and this is a good stat. I'm glad I remembered. 2 years ago, the Vikings lost like a record. They were like 0-6 in one-score games. The last year, they set a record. They won 13 of a possible 17 games, and 11 of those 13 were one-score games. So it's not like they were blowing these guys out of the water and they were clear number ones. A lot of luck came into that, and some skill, because you need the skill to win those one-score games. But let's not act like the Vikings were the clear best team. They did end up losing to the Giants in the playoffs, so there are flaws. And you think I feel like the Lions have a best case scenario to be like, hey, let's take this division from the Vikings. If it's going to come down to one score, we're in the game when in the fourth quarter. It's going to be 1-score game. So Dan Campbell's going to have those guys ready. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so fun. But the Packers, Love's been doing pretty good. Any hope on the Packers possibly taking the division at all?
No, not winning the division. I just don't think they'll get last because I think the Bears' defense is just terrible. I have more faith in LaFleur as a coach.
Okay.
To just keep them contending, semi contending.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let's move on to the NFC West. NFC West, I have the 49ers winning it, and I have the Cardinals dead last, tanking. Just Caleb Williams tanking, man.
Yeah, same here. Same exact predictions.
I have. Oh, sorry, Caleb.
I have a different number 1. I have the Seahawks.
Yes.
And my number 4 is the Cardinals. So sticking to what I said last year, a little giving hope to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I have the exact same one as Caleb.
Hey.
Whoa.
Okay. Interesting.
We got a Brock Purdy hater over here.
Seahawks were my number 2. They were close. I couldn't
same.
pull the trigger. I couldn't pull it,
But
but
number 2.
I love that team. I love that team so much. I think they're on the up. They were my favorite team in the draft this year. They picked great players. But what do you guys think they do better than the 49ers?
Well, they had a really good draft. I think when we talked about the draft, they had a bunch of picks, and pretty much consensus was, I mean, obviously the Eagles kind of had made headlines, but I said even at the time that the Seahawks were just very smart and wise in the picks they made to patch up holes and improve what they had already. I mean, I think the Seahawks certainly surprised last year, and I guess the caveat is whether you believe Geno Smith is going to be consistent now as a starter. Going into his second year, it's different when it's your first year. Teams don't quite know how to play you. But if he's the real deal, or even just a game manager, and then they added a great draft, great coach, I have more faith in the Seahawks. I'm excited to see what that will be with their additions with weapons on offense. And with the 49ers, I'm not a Brock Purdy hater. I think it's a great story, and he certainly has an opportunity to do it. But he was on a great team, and as an Eagles fan, it's just not a great look for an organization when they went all in on one guy. He played 8 games, and now they're going in on the other guy who, towards the end of the season, had a phenomenal run on a team that was already very good. So it's just that change of regime, a little bit of, Seahawks having a better draft and being on their heels. It's like Purdy, I think, has proven himself, but when it comes down the stretch, it's the same position as Geno in some ways. Like, now teams have gotten to see you play, seen you in after a year, and they can game plan over the offseason. So now you're not a new guy. You don't have that benefit of being an unknown. And will either team adapt? I think fundamentally, I think the Seahawks have more opportunities to do that. Whereas the 49ers, it's, they're definitely trying to win now, and they're trying to do that with Purdy and their guys. So it's not crazy, but you have to really believe in Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I echo everything Caleb said. Jackson Smith-Jigba, okay, this guy is going to make waves this year on the Seahawks. So you have him, then you have Geno Smith, who has experience. You have a great Seahawks O-line, great running game. You have a great coach with Pete Carroll, right? This guy's legendary. I think Brock Purdy's going to struggle this season, like I said, okay? He's been struggling at training camp. If you guys read the reports, he's been struggling. He threw like over 10 interceptions throughout training camp, and people are getting concerned. That's why reporters asked the head coach, Kyle Shanahan, why, or not why, but like, who's going to be the starter? Like, is there going to be a change to that? And he's like, well, if what's his name? If Brock Purdy melts or something, that's the only way he's not going to be the starter.
Exactly.
Right?
He's solidified.
Yeah, and so he's trying to give his quarterback confidence, but there's issues. People are talking. Okay, people are talking, and that's they have a great defense. They have great talent with Kittle and everything, so they're naturally going to have a decent season. So second or third, okay, fine, but Seahawks can win this division. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this: if 4 or 5 weeks in, Purdy's just terrible, and they throw Sam Darnold in, do you think Sam Darnold in place of Brock Purdy is better? Are they better off? Or is that just like the same thing? They're just kind of screwed here.
Yeah, they're pretty much screwed. They're pretty much screwed. Sam Darnold, you've already seen what he can do. Like, he's not it. He doesn't understand the game well as other quarterbacks. I mean, look, again, the 49ers have great talent. Deebo Samuel, all these guys. So you can naturally look a little better than you actually are. But I don't think they're going to be able to pass the hump and beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks have, played with each other for over a year with Geno Smith. Now they have Jackson Smith and Jigba, Lockett, all these guys. Great run game, decent defense.
No, the defense sucks.
It's decent.
Gave up 300 yards to Josh Jacobs.
It's better this year, though.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs is a beast. But I think the Seahawks are going to win this division with the experience they have. Pete Carroll, he's going to know how to beat Brock Purdy or whoever's at quarterback. I'm picking the Seahawks.
And to add to it, it's like, again, a little bit not quite the same feeling as the Titans, but they're trying to do the same thing, the 49ers. Like, I think Purdy has a higher ceiling, so I'm not saying he's trash. I just think it's quite a statement organizationally when, like, for years Lance is the guy standing by him. Injuries suck. It's not, it's very unfortunate. I think it's tough when you have a decision like a quarterback who did come in clutch and the position that he was drafted in. Like, he has very high potential, but when the backup Sam Darnold, and like you said, durability. I mean, I know Purdy got injured in the playoff game against the Eagles, and that's not his fault either. But it's like the 49ers are trying to replicate the success that got him to the Super Bowl, but didn't win it against the Chiefs. And I think it's going to potentially happen. Now, there's a chance that Purdy is secretly amazing, kind of like how Herbert surprised us when he took over the Chargers, after against the Chiefs, he blew up and did well. Chance Purdy is that guy. And if he's that guy at that caliber, then I think they do have a chance. But we got to see a pretty good sample size towards the end of the season. It was on a good team. Now teams can adapt. I think the 49ers are largely the same, but they're trying to get to the Super Bowl with, if Purdy is what we have seen already, kind of a game manager with flares of extra success, because you have guys like Debo and Kittle. If they're all healthy, that is a high ceiling, but it's like, then you have Darnold, and it's the same. It's not that crazy of a balanced let's say if they were overalls in Madden, what's the difference? Like, it's Purdy's probably better, but they're still trying to get to the Super Bowl with a game manager quarterback, like what they were using Garoppolo for. And I think fundamentally the problem that they're getting into is, like when they went in the Super Bowl, that their guy is going to go against a guy on the other side who's going to be like a superstar quarterback. Now, I think obviously it's fundamentally the organization, the team. They have a great team. Questionable with what happened with how they handled it with Lance. There was, a lot of factors there. I think they were very respectful to him, so it's not like they were dogging him, or they talk about him very nicely and how things went. But I just think they need to stop trying to win now with quarterbacks that, are more game managers. So if Purdy ends up not being that, then I'll give it. I could see it happening more likely.
Yeah.
But if they with a game manager Purdy, if that's what it would be like, they might get to the playoffs and they might, win a game, but then they're going to go against a special guy like a Herbert or Rodgers, a Mahomes, or Hurts, and will they be able to contend then? So I think it really goes down to how much you believe in Purdy. And with Smith, I think like Jonathan said, fundamentally as a team, I'm excited to see what Carroll has a history. They had a great draft. They have some superstar elements just as much, and I think you might see some surprises from a guy like Geno, and I'm willing to bet that Geno will have more of those moments versus the 49ers kind of trying to replace Garoppolo.
I'm excited to see Geno, see if he can duplicate last year.
Yeah,
like see if he's actually the guy.
Right.
It's a good story, and I would not be sad if the Seahawks won. We've partnered back up with Manscaped to give you guys 20% off and free shipping on all their items. That includes the Beard Hedger and all their below-the-waist grooming products. We all know how injuries can ruin a season, so let Manscaped protect that Reggie Bush of yours with their skin-safe technology. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have created a championship lineup with their Performance Package 4.0. And it's time for you to do the same. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off and free shipping when you use the code DORMDebate. Let's go on to the NFC South. Now, by far, people have said this is the worst division in football. Atlanta Falcons, Tampa Bay Bucks, New Orleans Saints, and Carolina Panthers. By far, they say the worst. The next one we have is the NFC East. People say is the best. So we go from the worst. My winner of the NFC South is the Atlanta Falcons, and my last place team is the Carolina Panthers.
Wow. I have the New Orleans Saints getting first and the Carolina Panthers getting last.
I have the Falcons as number 1. And I'm torn on number 4, but I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Ooh,
It's 4th place.
Okay, I have the Saints as number 1 and the Bucks as number 4.
Everybody has different. That's the first division.
So
Okay.
Nobody agrees.
I have one like caveat with this division is that if Kyle Trask starts within 5 weeks, Kyle Trask starts, they are winning the division. That is my one
Oh my
thing.
gosh,
They
you
will-
and Kyle Trask
They
need to
will
settle down.
leapfrog Atlanta Falcons. I believe in Kyle Trask. I want to see what he can do. I want a good sample size. He was great in college at Florida. I need to see a good sample size, 3-4 games with Kyle Trask at the helm, with Godwin, Mike Evans. I feel like it's a perfect fit. Baker's okay, but we know what he is. So come on, Tampa. Put the man in. Put Trask in. I just want to see it. And
He's
if they
just
do
not
it,
doing it.
I promise you, if they do it before week 5, they will win the division. I promise you. So that's my only thing. If they don't do it, they don't listen to me, the Falcons are going to run away with this division. Run away.
Yeah, I mean well, I'll just comment on the Panthers first. The reason I have them last is because it's the only rookie quarterback in the division, so I think they're going to struggle. They don't really have a lot of pieces around Bryce Young, and it's just going to be a rough season for them, so they're definitely going to get last. The first place, this is honestly the easiest division for me, and it would be my second most shocked division behind the Jaguars if they lost. The Saints are definitely going to win, guys. And Jared, you're going to watch this at the end of the year and be like, wow, I mean, I can't believe Saints won this division by like 3 or 4 games. It wasn't even that close. So Saints are going to win this division. Reason is because their defense is still solid like it was last year. They didn't really add or lose anything really there. But they upgraded at quarterback. They got Derek Carr. They upgraded at receiver because Olave is now healthy. Michael Thomas is now healthy. They upgraded at running back, even though Kamara is going to be out for the first few games. Jamal Williams is there. Kendre Miller is there. Juwan Johnson at tight end. This is a team that has a pretty easy schedule. And honestly, if they lose more than 1 game in their division, I'd be pretty surprised. This Saints team is definitely going to win the division. I think they might even get to double-digit wins because of how easy their schedule actually is.
No. What was the winner last year? 7 games won the division?
Yeah,
8?
this year, Saints will get at least 9. They'll have probably 10, to be honest.
Oh,
It'll be a pretty solid win on the division.
Man.
I just don't. There's just no.
Saints are
reason,
second to last for me.
There's nothing you could say bad about the Saints.
Well, a lot of it is health. Kamara just being terrible.
He hasn't been anything anyway.
He's been terrible. Michael Thomas can't stay healthy. Olave can't stay healthy. The defense is it's been the same for the last 5 years. So yeah, the defense is great, but this offense won't score more than probably 21 points a game, if that. They'll probably barely make 17 points.
You got an upgraded quarterback, though. Carr can throw the deep ball. He's pretty legit.
I do like Carr,
slight upgrade.
Slight from Andy Dalton?
He was terrible.
Terrible. Andy Redhead Dalton.
I see the same people, man. I see the same. It's Carr and Dalton. I see the same. He doesn't add much.
You don't realize what you're about to see.
No, he's just not that good anymore. I mean, there's a reason that the Raiders.
And Desmond Ridder is?
Desmond Ridder, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson, Tyler Algier. I mean,
Name
Wow.
one player on their defense.
Wow. One player on their defense? Dude, oh my God. Let me think. Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett is one of the best DNs. What about
Campbell.
cornerback? Cornerback's tough, I'll be honest. Oh, Jeff Okuda. They just got Jeff Okuda.
They have AJ Terrell.
AJ Terrell. So it's bad. I'm not even gonna
The
like
thing is,
cap.
my
It's
biggest
bad.
concern is Ritter. That Carr is probably twice as good as Ritter. I need. How do you think that Ritter's going to make that jump though? Because that's the biggest question.
I'll tell you why. His last 4 games, he actually played very, very well. He had no turnovers, no interceptions. He played well. He played better every single game. The 4
What was
games
their
that he
record
played,
in their last 4?
2-2. They were 2-2.
Okay, not bad.
So give him some time in the offense for a little bit. He's a great runner. So have Bijan and have him at run as an option or a runner is great. And then I'll tell you what, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, they're going to be used a lot. Cordell Patterson will now be out of that kind of running back role. He'll be like that screen pass guy. But I'd take Desmond Ritter with the safety nets of Cordell Patterson, Algier, and Bijan Robinson over Derek Carr and honestly underwhelming Alvin Kamara and some guy named Kendre Miller who everyone's loving, but I haven't really seen much of him. So
he's good.
I take all those athletes over that. And my reason that they win first place is that offense. They have the best offense in this whole NFC South. And I think they're going to
disagree.
Be by far the best offense will win this division.
I mean, this wasn't a fun division to watch last year. It wasn't great competition, I'd say. So it's tough to separate from last year. But to articulate the same but different to what Jared was saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but weren't the Falcons kind of like sneakily very, very good at the run game? I think they had one of the best run games in all the offense last year. And so now they added even more power to that. So I think there are, even Jared saying it, I do say like you'll have to, it depends on London showing up. Pitts was expected to be better than he was. Who knows if he's gonna be what people thought he could have been, especially fantasy wise. He was a big hype and didn't quite produce, but that was across a lot of the league. I think there's very few tight ends who consistently produce. But I just feel like you take that factor. I want to give the edge to the Falcons because they're unknowns, Ritter especially. I don't really have watched much of him, but with that foundation they had last year, they might not have been a flashy team. They might not have flashy players like the Saints. But I'm willing to bet on the Falcons this year. But I will say I like Carr, and I think the Raiders will miss him, like I said, and I think the Saints have a very good chance. But again, I like that the very, very strong run game and the unknowns with the Falcons. I'm willing to risk it a little more with the Falcons this year.
Jonathan?
Yeah, the Saints are pretty efficient. Derek Carr is efficient, right? John Gruden came to camp and was even giving pointers, right? He's not getting paid. The Saints mean business. Derek Carr means business, and the Raiders made a huge mistake getting rid of him, okay? Derek Carr, he's passionate about the game. He wants to win. He'll do whatever it takes. He's a great leader. That's what you need. He's the best leader out of all the other quarterbacks in this division, in my opinion. Okay? And so...
Yeah, fair play.
And so I think the Saints have the talent needed with Jimmy Graham and all these guys. Alvin Kamara, I know he's going to miss a couple games, but in the long run, I think the Saints team is the real deal in terms of the division, and they're going to win. And yeah, the Bucs are going to struggle. Todd Bowles, I mean, I feel bad for him. He's probably going to get fired after the season because of how bad they do. And it's big to replace Tom Brady. Now they have Baker Mayfield replacing Tom Brady. I love Baker Mayfield, but he ain't no Tom Brady.
No, he ain't.
And the reason why Tom Brady's able to do decent last year with Todd Bowles as a coach is because of his experience. He knows the game, right? He knows what he.
They didn't even do great. They only won like 8 games.
Yeah,
and all that money they're spending on their receivers.
Yeah, exactly. All that money they're spending on the receivers, and so Baker Mayfield's going to struggle. He had a decent preseason, like 1 or 2 drives he played. It was pretty good, but believe me, don't be fooled. This is the same Baker Mayfield that struggled in Carolina. Okay, that's the same Baker Mayfield that was on the Browns, where they ran the ball 80% of the time to save his butt. This is the same guy. And so who's the running back there that's gonna like sort of take charge?
Rashad White,
Yeah,
Sean
go on.
Tucker.
So he doesn't have anybody to save face here. So he's gonna get exposed here, and people are gonna insult him left and right. And so
they got it. That's why Kyle Trask 5 weeks. I give Baker 5 weeks.
I could see that.
Thank you.
You guys hit it with Hurts years ago, so that does make me question whether maybe you're right.
John
again,
doesn't
Trask,
believe me.
No,
I don't know much about Trask.
Don't
so I'm
worry,
kind of
Trask is
indifferent,
not the
but-
guy.
No, you don't think so?
He is
I don't know much about him, so I'm
Terrible.
kind of
He's
indifferent.
about as good as Derek Carr
Andy Dalton.
right now.
Right now.
Right
Andy
now.
Dalton right now.
No, better than Andy Dalton.
I mean, he's got the red hair, right?
Oh yeah,
I
Cool.
don't know actually. Maybe
He's
blonde.
Andy Dalton's younger brother.
I think Kyle. I don't know what he is. He might be blonde, but I'm telling you, they put
Doesn't
him.
it affect the play at all? What are you talking about?
It matters.
You're like, I wonder what it is now. Change my
Is
opinion.
it red? Oh, okay, never mind.
They wear helmets, guys. It doesn't matter.
I'm kidding. All right. NFC South done. Every division done, but the most important, folks. They call it the NFC least in some cases. Now, after
Some of us
years-
call it NFC Beast.
Beast. It was the least. Now it's the NFC Beast. We have the NFC East. Now, if you guys know anything, we have John, Giants fan, Caleb, Eagles fan, Jonathan, Cowboys fan. This is an NFC East podcast, basically. So we saved it for last, the best division for last. I feel like I'll go after you guys since I'm the one wild card.
All right, I'll go first. Giants are winning this division, and the Commanders are getting last.
All right, I'll go second. I have the Eagles winning the division, and the Commanders going last.
I have the Cowboys winning the division, and the Giants going last.
No.
So disrespectful.
That's more.
Do you actually believe that? Are you trying to draw?
I
a
believe,
reaction?
no, I believe
I'm
that.
actually mad now.
Saquon Barkley, they really frustrated him this offseason. He was the key guy, and they frustrated him with the contract stuff.
Wait, did
So
I
you think he's
say-
gonna
did I-
sell his soul for this division?
Wait, did I say Commanders last?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant the other C team. Cowboys.
No, the Cowboys, the Commanders, they're gonna improve this season. Okay, Sam Howell, he's not a name brand guy.
Stop it. Just stop.
Okay,
Yeah.
you don't have to eat now. Just it's all right.
He's not a name brand guy, but the morale of the team.
Oh
the spirit of the
my
team improved.
goodness.
Okay.
Hold on, Jonathan. Did you ever have turf toe when you were playing?
Yeah, I did.
How was that?
It was terrible.
Terry McLaurin has it right now.
No, that's tough. So he's gonna be out for a couple. All right, he's gonna be out for a couple weeks, but they're gonna force him to play. That's what they did to me.
That's
I
not
just got 1 week
good,
off.
Let's just force everybody to do everything.
No.
Yeah, exactly. They'll force you to play. It's like, no, you're the best player. You gotta play.
No,
You
no.
pressure on him.
No
That's
force.
how it works.
Don't forget these are human beings.
Yeah, they're human beings. The coach, they put pressure on them, and that's what they did to me. I just had 1 week off. I thought in that second week, I thought my twin brother was gonna start. I was like, great. Then in front of the whole team, he's like, John, you gonna run this fight to a touchdown? I was like, I guess.
No, I remember that
my
culture.
gosh.
It has changed for the better, but I do remember that growing up playing football. But
Wow.
it's gonna But
Wow.
okay, wow. You think
Yeah,
they're gonna do that much? Okay, but let's go to
Yeah,
Jim.
I think they're gonna do. The Commanders are gonna do better. And so, Eric Bieniemy, he's looking for a head coaching position.
You're
You think he's
you're
gonna sit there
telling
and
me
lie down in his grave? No, he's gonna fight to try to win the division, but he's gonna fight and show people that, hey, I was doing my job in Kansas City. I actually know offensive.
you know
plays
it
to
was
call.
all Andy
Actually
Reid
know.
in Kansas City.
I mean, that's what we said. But if you look at the preseason, I know it's preseason, but like, I don't know. He could have had some say in some of the plays, and we're gonna see that. So I don't think they're gonna get last. They're gonna show some improvement, maybe third or second. The Giants are a little bit big headed from last season. That's number one.
What
They had a great run, but they paid Daniel Jones. What's the incentive for him to play? He's never been great. He just got paid randomly,
Oh.
and he took all the credit. But it was Saquon Barkley. We all know that, and Saquon Barkley got ripped
I don't
off.
care. We
And so
won a
he's
playoff
frustrated.
game last year.
And so he's frustrated from that. So you have Daniel Jones not incentivized to play well. You have Saquon Barkley frustrated that the management doesn't care about him. So he's not going to
We got Darren Waller. We got Jalen Hyatt.
Darren Waller has injury issues. You got Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt, he's supposed to be good.
What do you mean supposed to be? You love Alabama. How many touchdowns did he score on Alabama last year?
He scored. He did good in the Alabama game, but did y'all see him in the preseason? I'm kind of concerned. I don't know if he's going to be a bust or what.
Don't you like Daboll though?
Sauce Gardner was on him.
Guys, I should be an NFL scout. This guy, I'm telling you, this guy Jalen Hyatt, I don't like him.
You don't like
Daboll? I don't think he's alpha.
I thought you liked Daboll.
I like Daboll.
You think Daboll?
But the players.
You think he's going to be just sit down and chill and get live?
You're going to see a lot of memes of him yelling. Be prepared for that, folks. He did it in the preseason. He's going to do it in the regular season. Why? Because the players are going to let him down. Daniel Jones is going to let him down. Saquon Barkley is going to show him some attitude because he's like, you guys want to pay me, so you expect me to pour my heart and soul into this? Darren Waller is going to get injured probably. Unfortunately, I hope it doesn't happen, but it may probably going to happen. Jalen Hyatt, he's not going to be able to get open. He's going to drop some passes. He's going to have one or two.
That's okay because we didn't have any receivers last year, so he's not going to hurt. He can't hurt us.
Guys, you're going to see this is going to be a prime example of 0 to 100. In a negative standpoint.
Zero.
You might as well just stop now. You might be hurting your case. Let's get Jared's pick.
0 to 100, but the other way. Last time the Commanders, third, I have the New York Giants.
What?
And second, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. First, I have Dallas Cowboys.
No, Jared, come on.
All right. Let's go. What's going on? All right,
Jared. I don't know if we'll be living together.
Disrespectful.
Anymore.
He's being honest. He's just telling you what he sees.
No, he's not.
What's going on here? We can't have two votes for the Cowboys.
Ripped out of my body.
We can't have two number one picks for the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
They've been.
All right, they'll lose a couple of games.
Tell me how did this team get better from last year?
Stephon Gilmore.
One guy you added.
Han. So let me talk since you're biased.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Fair.
So, all right. I'll tell you one easy thing is I don't think the Giants are at that point, but they will improve in a win percentage, but they won't. They're not even close to the Eagles, and they're not even close to the Cowboys. So how
are the Cowboys better than the Eagles? Because if the Giants don't win the division, Eagles will win. Cowboys won't win it.
That's the tough division. The Eagles, I really had to dig deep to find some flaws, some things that are going to be trouble mid-season. And it's around the point where you guys play the Cowboys. And let me tell you. So right off the get-go, number one toughest schedule. Now you guys are one of the best teams in the NFC, so
you're talking to the Eagles.
Are you talking about the Eagles? Number one toughest schedule, the Philadelphia Eagles. But there's a point in that season you guys have to play the Cowboys, at Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, and then you're at Dallas.
That is
no buys in between. That is straight through. You are running the gauntlet.
If you can win all those, you deserve to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Fair enough. Not only the East, but you will win the Super Bowl. But I'm telling you right now,
give it to them.
I think, for one, they are going to lose against the Cowboys in Philly. And the reason being is they're going to be looking ahead to Kansas City, at Kansas City, and they're going to see Super Bowl rematch. We want a little bit of revenge. All right? We got the bad taste from them beating us. We want to fulfill that bad revenge. And so they play the Cowboys a week before. Wow. They're going to be looking ahead to the Chiefs. They're going to get caught off guard.
No, Eagles will not.
Eagles won't do that.
You're saying at Philly. We're going to forget about the Cowboys?
Remember, you guys lost your first game to the Commanders in Philly. So it happens.
Ooh.
It happens.
Yeah, no, but Cowboys are the rival. We, as an Eagles fan,
but
we are not.
Do you think over the Chiefs, who just beat you in the Super Bowl,
Super Bowl?
All
right, you're going to need to come up with a better excuse.
Then not only that, but they lose to the Cowboys. Let's just say they beat the Chiefs, Bills, and 49ers, and now they're going to Dallas. After that gauntlet, there's no way, even if you guys win those
All
games,
right, fine.
that
You lose
you're gonna win
one game
Cowboys.
to Dallas. That's not a
No,
big deal.
you lose 2 games to Dallas. That's the tiebreaker. You
Two.
lost the tiebreaker.
No,
That
that's
will
fine
cost
because
you.
it won't be that close. Eagles will already be way ahead.
No, I'm saying that it was very
won't come
close
down to a
between the
tie.
Cowboys and the Eagles. It was very close. I'm telling
Always
you,
close.
it will
Okay,
come
no, to
down
be
to
honest,
the tiebreaker.
The one at Cowboys, okay, they could lose, but you're on drugs if you think they're gonna lose the first one before the Chiefs. You think they're gonna be like, oh guys, let's just look forward
Against
to
the
the Chiefs.
Cowboys?
No, they're
Yeah.
gonna
No,
win
Cowboys are-
easily at home against the
let me
Cowboys.
tell you
Watch.
this. And let me
Easy.
tell
Even
you
against
this.
the rematch Super Bowl, we're gonna be gunning for the Cowboys. I'll tell you that. Like
You could be
the
gunning
logic
for them. You could be
for
gunning.
any other fan base. Yeah, that would make sense. The Super Bowl rematch, like, yeah, we obviously do want to win. It's gonna be a big focus. But the Eagles fan base, every Cowboys Eagles game, we'd rather like sink the ship with us and the Cowboys on it, and let the Chiefs get away than the Cowboys do well.
Hey.
Like that. We're not gonna forget.
Fair enough. Understood. But this isn't the Cowboys team last year.
Thank you. Okay,
Like John
thank you.
asked.
Tell me how
they
get
got better.
Please.
How did
other
they get
other
better?
than Stephon Gilmore, please.
Brandon
Deuce Vaughn.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Deuce
Oh,
Vaughn
sorry.
is good, but Brandon Cooks.
Boom.
Brandon Cooks is the guy,
Mm.
John, you have been asking for since they've traded Amari Cooper. What have they been missing? Amari Cooper. This guy is as close as you can get to him. He has had 1,000 yards in 6 of his 9 years in the NFL. He
Boom.
is great. He's been the wide receiver 1
No.
on Texans. He's been on wide receiver 1 for other teams. He is the wide receiver 2 on the Cowboys. They basically have 2 wide receiver 1s now, CeeDee Lamb and now Cooks.
You're saying that to them when the Eagles have Smith and Brown.
Okay, AJ Brown is better. I'd say CeeDee's probably better than AJ Brown, but Devonta Smith is definitely better than Cooks.
I wonder what the numbers are. 'Cause I'm obviously not-
Goddard is better than any
numbers.
tight end the Cowboys have.
Yeah, what do the numbers say?
Y'all
That's the
lost.
key.
I know. I mean, I'm curious what the
I,
numbers.
th-
say.
I, would
agree.
think I would
say they're
take
both
Cooks
better.
slightly just because of the
No.
volume and
Cooks
stats.
over Devonta Smith?
The
Volume and
volume
stats.
and the
Volume
stats.
and
Wait,
Cooks,
hold on.
yes.
Because he's an
hold on.
older player,
Wait,
though.
hold on.
How long has he been in the league?
9
Devonta
years.
Smith?
He's
you
been
think
in the
is
league
worse
9
than
years.
Brandon Cooks?
He's a great
Yes.
veteran.
The volume of the stats, yes. That's
What?
you said.
How many-
Based on the
okay,
volume
How
of
many
stats
years
let's
has
go
alone.
Amari
by-
Cooper in the
let's-
league when you guys got rid of him in the Cowboys? Like, how many years had Amari Cooper been playing in the league when he got shipped away from the Cowboys?
Who, Amari
What's-
Cooper?
I don't know what-
I don't know.
Was it 9 years
Probably not that long.
or less? If it's
Probably-
less, it's kind of a worse case for Cooks.
Probably
'cause you're saying he's older.
Probably less, but Cooks
Yeah,
is
probably
sustained
4 or 5.
1,000 yards in 6 of his 9 years.
No,
No,
I'm not trashing
You're
Cooks,
crazy
but I mean,
if
like,
you think he's better than Devonta
It's-
Smith right now.
right now,
Volume
it's
and
tough.
stats.
You're just-
Compared to
that's so
last
dumb.
year.
It's all about production, but
It's all about
Okay,
production.
let's
The
go
guy
to production.
and not only that, but
They lost Schultz.
Devontae Smith has had Hurts.
Not
And-
only that, but
and-
whoa. Like you said, Brandon Cooks has been the wide receiver 1 on every team he was on. Devonta
Yeah,
Smith has
with-
the wide
with
receiver
shit
2. He's not even the
quarterbacks.
top target.
He's had terrible quarterbacks, John. He's had the worst quarterbacks ever.
Thank
Okay,
you.
how good is DeAndre Hopkins? He's had terrible quarterbacks. It's not that hard. Josh Gordon was the leading receiver in the
It
NFL
is
with
hard.
freaking Brandon Whedon. It's
Well,
not
that's what
that
I was
hard.
saying
It
with
is
the
hard.
Raiders. Devontae
It's hard.
Adams killing it
See,
statistically.
Devontae
Hill killing.
Adams,
It's not. I'm
Derek
not saying it's
Carr,
not
who you
hard.
say Carr is like same as Andy Dalton.
They
Yeah.
lost. The Cowboys lost Schultz. They still have Dak,
Exactly.
which we know we're going to get a Dak.
No more Zeke.
and they don't
to
have
punch
Kellen
it in.
Moore.
But
No
why,
more
why
Kellen
is
Moore.
it? Why is
The
it?
offensive coordinator is gone.
Like-
How are you going to figure it out?
It's
Every year it's we them boys, but y'all still got Dak. I like Dak as a person. I say this every year, but you know what you're going to get out of him. But now you lost Schultz, who was a pretty big outlet for
no,
Dak.
he wasn't.
And
Not
then you lost
last
Kellen
year.
Moore.
Not
He was,
last
dude.
year.
Look
Not
at how many
last year.
touchdowns.
This is a great
Dude,
because he's a
Schultz
great
had more
blocker.
touchdowns than I think he might have. Maybe CeeDee Lamb had more touchdowns, but Dalton Schultz was second. I think it's we.
I
as
can
girls.
guarantee you his stats are replaceable. I guarantee you. He was
I mean,
awful
like anyone's
last year.
replaceable.
Who?
He was
Dalton
off-
Schultz?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not
Yep,
not
let's
freaking
go.
Travis
I'm pulling him up
Kelce.
right now. I'm pulling him up right
He's a-
now. He
he's-
was better.
he's
on
no
a per
Travis-
game basis. Watch.
He's no Travis
looking it
Kelce.
up.
He was terrible.
I mean,
He
I
was
would say
injured
the
for like
Giants,
90% of the year.
That doesn't matter.
Giants
I'm
now
talking
have
about
Waller,
per
so-
game.
because now Giants have Waller, so they're tight end for tight end against the
He's probably
Cowboys.
gonna
is
get hurt
probably
though.
better.
Like he has injury issues, and they're
Not
probably
as-
not going to utilize him well.
Oh, okay.
Who you
But I don't
talking?
think it's. I don't. But they have Dayball as well.
They've
Like
been,
the
he's been
Giants.
the top target in the training camp.
Giants went farther with less, and they've added to their pounds, whereas the Cowboys are largely the same. Well, not largely the same because they've lost
The Giants
some of
didn't
their
go
bigger
further than the
behind the scenes
Cowboys.
pieces. Well, like in terms of like how they improved, they were the biggest difference. Like they didn't expect to be that good, whereas every year it's like, oh, we're gonna
Oh,
probably get to here.
sure.
Like what you're gonna get out of Dak. Like what's
Sure,
they really
but
goes.
but they're
it's
better than the Giants.
uh,
I what?
I think people want them to be better than the Giants.
I just think that middle schedule right there is going to be the deal breaker. The Cowboys
Okay,
are not as
there we
bad
go.
as you guys think they are.
I just got Dalton Schultz.
They're not a bad
guys.
team, but
Dalton
Yeah.
Schultz. Second on the team in targets, second on the team in catches, second on the team in yards, second on the team in touchdowns. And nope, he didn't help Dak at all. He wasn't a safety. No,
when
you're
he
right.
was injured, he was injured for like
15 games he played, guys. He was not injured.
Okay, so
They
then
didn't have a choice.
Guys,
what about
CeeDee Lamb
what
was
about
in
the
Super Bowl.
playoffs?
What about it?
Did he play in the playoffs?
Yeah.
What did he do?
I mean, the Cowboys suck in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. I mean, we're talking about
49ers,
winning
the
the
kryptonite.
division here, not playoffs.
Right. I just don't know how you. I just don't. You got to respect the Giants. What they got going on there. Like as an Eagles fan,
I respected the Giants. I gave them their flowers. What do you mean?
I'm actually serious that I think the Cowboys are in danger of getting third in the division. I don't want to say that, but we might be coming back to this clip by the end of the year. Cowboys might be in danger of getting third. I mean, they're going to lose the first game to the Giants. They're going to have a tough time without Zeke there, offensive coordinator. It's going to be rough.
I think Cowboys will start strong because it's like Jerry will be really happy. It's like, yeah, this is our year. The fan base will get hype, but then it'll come down. They might win against like when the Eagles or the Giants are like secured in the playoffs. They put out the backups, and then the Cowboys win by 30, and it's like, all right, we got a chance because we're gonna make the wild card. It's
Giants will be
resting
players at that point.
but we again, I think with this because I'm more aware of the players in this division and the Eagles team. We all these predictions are based on fully healthy rosters. We never know how injuries will reshape the offensive line, the offense, defense, all that. So, but pound for pound, I'm like, as an Eagles fan, barring any injuries to our team, I still believe we're number one. But I'm more afraid of the Giants on our tails as it stands because we know we're going to get out of the Cowboys largely, unless they're offensive coordinators
but
like one of the next greats.
That playoff game, you guys went 3-0 against them in the season, and it wasn't close. Like
I know, but
you're not close. You guys made a huge improvement, and that's amazing. But you have to realize and look back at some point and say, yeah, we are not the Eagles. We are not the Cowboys. The Cowboys you're
forgetting who the Giants are. Did we not beat an 18-0 team in the Super Bowl or whatever they were? Did we not win the Super Bowl as wild cards? I know that was a long time ago.
How far back are we going?
But
how far back are we going?
The Giants,
right,
and we've seen teams in the past. It doesn't matter how many games you lose. You could lose 3 straight games against a team. Like Caleb says, any given Sunday, anything can happen. And the Giants, like Caleb said, the Giants got...
Yeah.
Okay, Giants were here last year. Cowboys were here, right? But Giants got this much better. Cowboys got minimally better. Giants got a lot better. Waller.
The Cowboys were up here. Defense. You guys went from here to here. You're not close to the Cowboys.
You're not close to the Cowboys.
You're not close.
You're going to regret this. I can't believe that.
There's sustained playoff appearances. The Giants got there once. They need to do it again. But even if they do it again, at least the Cowboys gave them a fight against the Eagles last year. The Giants got blown out. Like
we don't need to beat the Eagles to beat the Cowboys.
You guys need to win the tiebreaker. That's the whole reason I'm picking Cowboys. Is I'm saying that when the Cowboys meet the Eagles, and I think they will beat them twice to win the tiebreaker, that will be enough. The Cowboys don't lose more than like 2 games in their division. They really don't. So I'm thinking that if you beat the Eagles, who else are you losing to? Nobody. So in your whole division, you swept the division. You're going to win. You're going to win the tiebreaker.
The Commanders usually give the Cowboys a good fight, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we're not giving enough. I mean, do we all have the Commanders for it?
No, Jonathan has Giants. No. The total disrespect.
Right. That started this
that I'll never forget.
I hope I'm wrong.
It was the opposite.
I really hope I'm wrong.
It was the opposite energy though, because you talked about Daboll yelling at the players. I feel like first the new ownership with that organization with the Commanders, which is good for the league, for humanity. But I think it's going to be a rebuilding era. I think I've come to change my original tune over the years with Ron Rivera, not to didn't mean to rhyme there, but I think Bieniemy is going to be the one who's trying to like, build a winning culture, and the old regime from a not saying Rivera's infected by the old organization, but I think it's going to be closer to rebuilding. He had a statement about Sam Howell. Like, if I had known he was as good as he is now, I would have started him. I'm like, that makes you look terrible as a coach. And like, just the other comments where it's like one day Rivera says this, and another day, like, there's so much drama in that organization around him, and not crazy drama, but just weird stuff that I can't. I just think I'm not. I want to say this because we haven't talked a lot about the Commanders because none of us are Commanders fans, but they can surprise. They had a good defense. I've been dark horse fans of them for a while, but they got it one year. But what I'm trying to get at with, I think what John was getting at too about how far back we're going is, to be fair, Eagles have been in 3 Super Bowls, won 1. Giants have won 2 in the last 20 years, but both of these franchises have won a Super Bowl in this millennia. Whereas the Cowboys, what we're trying to get at, I think, and we're biased, but the Cowboys are, and with Jerry Jones, I said this weeks ago, that if Jerry Jones, the owner, he's always like getting his hands involved. They're like close enough that the fans get hope, like, yeah, this is our year every year. So like, fair enough, like they are maybe baseline higher than the Giants are, but the Eagles and Giants franchises have very high highs and very low lows. So I think with the patterns, because it's been the same family owning the Giants, they have a strong organization there. It's like their trajectory has a potential to be much higher than the Cowboys fundamentally. And I said this because even like weeks ago with Jerry Jones, like, I think the team's success was when he let when they won the 4 was like when he was more hands off or not involved as much. So and that's not been in this millennia. So it's like, I think till he gives up ownership, I still stand by that.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, so much for listening. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go over to our Instagram and our TikTok at Dorm Bay Podcast and follow us over on there. We are over 210,000 strong over on TikTok, and we're almost at 5,000 on Instagram, almost at 4,000 on YouTube. Some big milestones for us. So make sure you hit those subscribe and follow buttons. Thank you guys so much for watching again. It's going to be great. We are 1 week closer to the season starting. We're so happy that we are in season 4 of the Dorm Bay Podcast. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the best you've ever seen. You won't even expect it. We got 2 episodes each week. So double the podcast, double the dorm debates, double the fun. It's going to be great, guys. Thank you again, and we will see you guys, as always, next week.